make you forget those texts. And then he says, never forget those texts. Goes on by saying, I live like there's no tomorrow because there isn't.
Okay.
I want to know.
It's really good. They're all good. These are just too many layered questions. They make me tired just listening to them. Joaquin? Okay. How about you? It's your first day here. Meaning of life. Let me perhaps start with the first question. And really the question is, do other people impact us in any way? And then we'll talk about the meaning of life and technology and all that stuff. There was a man who was born, I think 18 something and died 19 something. He was considered one of the fathers or founders of existentialism. And for those of you who may not know what it is, have you ever talked about existentialism? No, well, if I was to give you an idiot's version or a cliff note of it, imagine for a moment that you're watching this show on TV called Prince of Bel-Air. Forget Will Smith, but just focus on Carlton. He has everything. He's got great parents. He's got a good sister, maybe two of them. He's got great friendships, goes to great school, has never suffered from any kind of poverty. His life is actually pretty good. He just wakes up one morning and says, I am unhappy. His parents' love and care are not enough for him. His sister is not enough for him. He is not enough for him. There is nothing that makes him happy. And so existentialism is a movement that took place around the 19th century. Of course, it has a long tradition going all the way back to the Epic of Gilgamesh. Someone who has everything and yet feels empty. And it's something that many of you in this class will eventually feel and experience. That you will be married, you will have a job, a car, everything, and you just say, I hate my life. Not that anyone has done anything negative to you, you just don't find it meaningful anymore. So Jean Paul Sartre was an introvert. He was a guy who kind of went to coffee shops every single day, sat, watched people, and then just wrote about what he was witnessing. He came out with this play. It's called No Exit, or Other People Are Hell. It's not very long. If some of you remember to email me, I can find it online and post it for you to read. It's actually not very fun. It's actually quite boring. It's about three people being caged, imprisoned in a room. Only three people. The room has no doors, has no windows. They can never get out. They're there for eternity. Let me first tell you who and what they are. The first character's name is Garson. He's a hero. He is part of this revolutionary movement. Kind of like many of you in Oakland, you fight for justice, climate change. You want to get rid of homelessness, all that stuff. So he's a guy who is quite selfless, and he's been selfless most of his life. And the government is looking for him because they find him somewhat troublesome, you know. And so one day as he's walking the streets, he just comes up from the underground to go to Safeway, grab himself some milk, and the cops recognize him. And they look at him and they say, "Aren't you Garçon, the person we've been looking for, the most wanted man in France?" He says, "Oh no, you have the wrong guy. It's not me." "Are you sure?" they say. "Yeah." And so they let him go, and now Garçon has a problem. Am I a hero or am I a coward? You know, when you are in a committed relationship and you just slip, you begin to flirt with someone, or you sleep with them, or you love your parents, but you do something that can be defined as backstabbing them. You love your mom, but you do something that she loses her trust in you. And then you go back, you sit in your room and you ask, do I love my mom or do I hate my mom? Do I love my companion or do I not like my companion? And these days, I think it's just ballooned. Am I a man or am I a woman? Am I monogamous? Am I polygamous? So, and for those of you in this class who are Christians, for example, or whose temperaments are geared towards, say, things spiritual, you ask yourself, am I just body or am I spirit? If I'm spirit, why do I do things that are so fleshy? If I'm just body, why do I feel as if sometimes I'm overcome with shame and guilt that I need to be something that I'm not? In other words, it's a man who lives in conflict, like most of us in this class. We don't really know what to do with it. You know, this morning I came to the office at 5 to sit and write, realized I'm far too tired. So I just laid on the floor and just slept. And then when I woke up, I asked myself, should I cancel class? Should I go to class? Will I have the energy to actually think clearly, soberly about things? When students, make sacrifice to get up early in the morning, put some makeup on, I suppose, get dressed, shower, smell good. What if they come to class and there's a sign that says class is canceled? What are they going to do with their cleanliness, with their sacrifice? And I had to contemplate, have the class, cancel the class. Whenever you have a companion and you don't know if you want to stay with them or not, you live in conflict. And it's a really, really difficult place to be. It's what we call purgatory. There is nothing about your life that's clear. Paradise is when you're clear about something, metaphorically speaking. I'm not talking about being in the presence of God or being spiritual or having wisdom. You just know that you want to drink tonight. It's very clear for you. You want to go out and just have a good time. Hell is when you actually got drunk and now you're puking all over the place. Purgatory is you're undecided. Should I drink? Should I not drink? My friends keep calling me. Now, the problem with living in conflict is this. You can't figure out the answer. Whenever you get stuck in should I stay or should I go, you go through a good amount of confusion, dread, anxiety, frustration. You want someone to tell you which way to go. I had a friend. He was making, in 1984, he was making about $100,000 a year, working at Pac Bell, now AT&T. He had a wife. she would spend all of his money on garbage. Literally, garbage. He didn't know what to do. He would wake up every morning and they would fight. She would sit up till 4 in the morning and just watch TV. And they had 2 kids. And everybody kept telling him, divorce, divorce. If you don't want to save yourself, at least save your kids, divorce. But he would say, no one in my family has ever divorced. I want to, but I don't know if it's the right thing. So he got stuck in yes, no, maybe. And he lived in maybe. His wife is now in an institution. Both of his kids are drug addicts. He himself does not leave his house. It is really, really, really difficult to figure out what to do when you're in the middle and you don't have answers. That's Garson. Next is, I think her name is Stell. Stell is very, very, very attractive. And that's her bread and butter, you know. Ever since she was a kid, she would walk to the lake and everybody would be looking at her. Why? She was so gorgeous. When she got to high school, every boy wanted to be around her. When she went to parties, she was the sun. Everyone else was just various planets revolving around her. And do you know what happens when people keep telling you how attractive you are? You become all meat and no spirit. You don't really care if you can think. You don't really care if you can feel about things the right way. You don't really care if you go to school. All you know is that you trap people with the way you look. Your eyes, your nose, your lips, your chest. And now she's stuck in a place where there is no one except a man who's got issues of his own. Her entire self-worth, her entire identity revolves around, I am beautiful, like Venus. I am the embodiment of perfection. But since no one is here to look at me, to cherish me, to worship me, what am I going to do? I don't know how to think. I just know how to look well. What's the use of you looking really, really good, and yet there is no one out there looking at you? And then there is Inez. She is a lesbian. Hello, Vivian. Oh, please. You're not doing anything. I mean, look at these people.
Well,
Yeah, I know. It's awful. Huh. Where are you going? Why? When a young man can't overcome the basics of life, you can't do much with him. You hold your pee when you're in a class. And you suffer in silence. It's a Christian way. Now, Inez is a lesbian. For those of you who may not know what that means, she's gay. For those of you who may not know what that means, I don't know. Google it.
Women.
I'm sorry?
She likes women.
She likes women. Now, I have a twitch. It just comes about sometimes. I don't know why. The problem with Inez, the lesbian, is that she hates men. She just doesn't like them. I don't know why. She's also a Christian. She doesn't know if Jesus Christ likes lesbians. Of course, I'm spicing up the story a little bit. You can't actually find most of the things I'm saying in the novel itself. But, to keep you guys from falling asleep and myself from passing out. So what you have is the following. You have a man who doesn't know if he's a hero or a coward. You have a woman who doesn't know what to do with herself and knows if no one is there to tell her how attractive she is. And you have a woman where half the population of the planet is just uninteresting. They're men. She's only interested in one half of the entire population of the planet. And of those, only 2 or 3% are gay. So she needs to find someone who is like her, gay, and that person is attracted to her. What do you do in this place? If this is a little too difficult to grasp, let me give it to you in this way. Imagine you leave this class feeling offended by something that I have said. And you want to call your mom and just tell her. But your mom doesn't really care for what you have to say about anything. You want to call your friends, but they're all at work. And you're stuck with the dilemma. And that dilemma is going to live inside you for a long, long time. And you're looking for an outlet, but there is no outlet to be found. For those of you in this class who have suffered from depression, what happens? You try to get yourself out of this quicksand, find yourself a rope to get yourself out, and you try. Sometimes you're good for a few minutes, maybe a couple of days, then you get sucked back into it. And your mom tried to help you. Eventually, she just gives up. You've tried to help yourself. Eventually, you give up. Thanks to the recommendation of Alex, yesterday I went home, Alex, and I watched the first season and the first episode of Sopranos. He realized that he's tried everything. He's tried whacking people. He's tried giving his wife anything that she wants, giving his kids anything that they want, giving his friends anything that they want. But at the end of the day, he's just depressed. He's tried and tried and tried. I'm not talking about these conflicts that come and go. I'm talking about you being pregnant with a dilemma, with an issue that is bothering you. You lose sleep over it. You can't eat. You can't rest. You're never in a good mood. You're always reflecting, trying to figure out what the hell to do with yourself and your life. Should I drop this class or not? That's ridiculous. Should I quit this job and move to the next one? That's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, they have their own set of complexities. But what Garsan in this environment is feeling is, I want to just open the window. There are no windows. I want to open the door and get out. There is no way to go. I want to talk to someone about these issues. No one is listening. I don't even know how to word them. So out of desperation, that's the key word. All of us in this class are desperate. Especially if your curiosity is pregnant with emotions. If you have needs and you want those needs to be satisfied. I got an email a few weeks ago in one of my other classes, and this young woman told me, I'm sorry, I can't make class today or tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I am on my cycle, she said. And I am thinking, why is there this need to tell me what she is going through? Is it out of respect? Is it because of confidence? Is it because this person wants to tell me there are good reasons to why I'm not showing up? But it's a need, you see. And that need needs to be expressed. Now, the student is very lucky that I'm very open, nonchalant about most of the things under the sun. Another instructor would probably say, please don't ever email me with such nonsense ever again. That's none of my business. And there are those instructors, I assure you. So Garsan wakes up and says, I can't do this on my own anymore. I need someone to help me with this conflict. Remember last Tuesday of this week, what was Alex's question? What should I do with responsibility? Russell, what should I do with change? Abby, having kids, is it moral? Why do we ask questions? Because figuring out the answers by ourselves on our own is immensely difficult. See, for those of you in this class who grow food in your backyard, you don't need Safeway. You don't need Costco. You are rich. But if one morning you wake up and you say, my life is meaningless, I want meaning. It's like saying, I want pizza. And the next question is, well, do you have money to go to Zachary's? Do you have money to go to Domino's? Do you have the proper stuff where you can make it yourself? And if you have the dough in your fridge, and you have the sauce, pepperoni, cheese, you don't need to go anywhere. You are self-sufficient. So you need to know the following. We ask because we don't have answers. Because we need someone to give us insights, perspectives. It's what we call intellectual and emotional poverty. And there is nothing wrong with it. All of us are stuck in that. All of us are. Garsan wakes up and he doesn't know what to do. Am I a hero or a coward? The first person that he sees is Inez, the lesbian. Goes to her and says, Inez, can I buy you a cup of coffee? She says, you're a man, aren't you? Yeah. I hate men. No coffee. Okay. Well, can I ask you a question? What is it? She says. You know, I've been like a Malcolm X or a Mahatma Gandhi or a Che Guevara, but then I got caught and I cried because I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to be executed. So I don't really know if I'm truly a hero or a coward. Can you tell me which one it is? And Inez looks at him and says, I don't really care. He says, an act of compassion, please. Release me from this bondage. Tell me. You can even lie to me. And she says, I just don't care. You can go to hell. You know, it's like you go home and you look at your companion, you look at your wife, or you look at your husband, or your parents, or a friend, and you say, I'm going through this. What do you think? I'm sorry, I got to go to work. What the fuck? You're my best friend, you're my mom, you're my dad, you're my wife, you're my boyfriend. I'm asking you, I'm stuck in this dilemma. Help! Say, no, I'm playing video games? Really? Now you got two issues. Not only do you have your dilemma not resolved, you also have come to realize that your boyfriend doesn't give a shit about you. It's beautiful. It would have been much better for you to just keep your dilemma to yourself. At least you could have continued loving your companion. Garsan, being rejected by Inez, says there is only one other person in this room who hopefully will give me something I like to hear. She goes to Stel. At first, he's struck by her beauty, but then he kind of captures himself and he says, listen, Stel, am I a coward or a hero? And Stel says, listen, I got my own stuff, man. I don't know if I'm ugly or attractive. So we'll make this deal. We sleep together. You tell me, this is what Stel tells Garsan. You tell me how attractive I am, how beautiful I am, how much you worship me, how much you love me. And I will tell you, you are a hero. I know. See, hearing the story, the dog is saddened. Not a whimper from any of you in this class, but the dog. Maybe I should just dismiss all of you and just keep the dog here. At the beginning, of course, hearing this, Garsan says, that's a great deal. I'll have sex, that's pleasure. I'll tell her she's attractive, no big deal, and she'll tell me I'm a hero. They're both naked now. Close your eyes and just picture that. I'm just kidding, don't close your eyes. Keep your thoughts pure and Christian. They're both naked on the bed and they're about to do it. Read the Bible, I mean. And all of a sudden, Garsan says, wait a minute. What if she really thinks and believes that I am a coward? But she's only telling me I'm a hero because that's what I want to hear. How can I trust her? Do I really want to self-deceive, lie to myself that much? I have no doubt some of you in this class at the very end of the semester will send me an email saying, I turned in all the assignments. I came to all the classes. It is true, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid, but I deserve an A. And I say, really? Your essays sucked. You don't know how to think or write. You don't know how to think about anything the right way. You sat in this classroom and not a peep out of you. So somehow you want me to validate the fact that you come here, do nothing, know nothing, say nothing, and you want me to participate in your lie that yes, you're intelligent. So some parts of you could feel validated. All of us in this class want validation from another. All of us do. Next time you go out on a date, just be casual, no makeup. If you don't want to shower, don't shower, just go out. And don't be self-reflective as you have a conversation with your companion. If you have a foul mouth, continue with using bad language. Just be who you are and see how long that person will stay at the table. So what do? You try to change your image. You're usually sloppy, but today you shower. You never wear makeup, but today you wear a makeup. Why? You want to impress someone. Why? Because your happiness, your worth depends on how you are seen by another. So much for freedom, individuality, creativity, autonomy. Eventually, Garsan says, no, I can't. I can lie to myself to some extent, but this is just way, way, way too much. He gets off of the bed, puts his clothes back on. But here's something you need to know about Garsan. He has the courage to live with conflict. For those of you in this class who don't know if you should stay or go, but for whatever the reasons are, you stay, but not because you want to, but out of a sense of obligation and responsibility. That takes a great amount of courage. That every day you wake up, you see your companion, you see your life, and you hate everything. And yet you say, my companion is not well. I will sacrifice my life so that they could feel somewhat comfortable. Your parents may not like you. In fact, they don't. But they will continue to do laundry for you, to cook for you, to tolerate your garbage. Anyone who is aware, who knows, and is willing to live in the cradle of conflict, which is really, really horrifying. They're like a Mahatma. They have a great soul. They have tolerance and patience for a good amount of garbage. They have a thick skin. It doesn't mean they're not angry. It doesn't mean they're not depressed. Okay? But it does mean that they are able to self-sacrifice for another's happiness and comfort. And that's what all of us really do. But you see, Stell is not as courageous, doesn't have the great capacity that Garson has. So she goes to Inez. And remember, Stell does not like lesbians. But she's stuck. I need someone to sleep with. And when someone sleeps with me, it means that I'm attractive. I need someone to tell me, I need to hear it, how attractive I am. And she goes to Inez and says, Inez, you and I can be friends even though I hate lesbians. Just tell me every day how attractive I am. We can even lay together. I just need to know. I need validation, confirmation, because I can't figure this out on my own. So fucked up. All of you in this class are friends. I assure you, if you sit and examine the nature of your friendship, you realize that you're friends with this particular person for particular reasons. Why the hell would you want to hang out with Einstein? You're no physicist. Why the hell would you want to take a photo of yourself standing next to Einstein? Because you want to show that to your friends. Because you standing next to Einstein or Kanye West or LL Cool J or Snoop Lion or Brad Pitt will increase your value as a human being. In fact, you know what you'll do? You'll go to one of those t-shirt shops and you'll give them a photo and you say, I want 10,000 of these t-shirts with this photo right in front as well as the back, with me standing next to Kanye West. And then every single day from 9 in the morning until about 9 at night, all you do is just walk Lakeshore. And every 5 seconds, someone will stop you and say, is that you? Yeah. Wait, is that Kanye? Yeah. Are you guys friends? Oh, we are best buddies. Really? Well, why didn't I treat you to coffee? Tell me about him. In that you find relevance, importance, significance. You were worth 2 cents when you woke up because you felt like shit. Now you wear this t-shirt and you walk around, you're like gold now. For those of you in this class who are depressed, ask yourself, who do you hang out with? Do you hang out with people who don't care about your depression? Do you hang out with people who have never been depressed? Do you hang out with people who don't ever get depressed, but they know how to have a good time, therefore they show you a good amount of distraction? All of us in this class use other people to get ourselves off, if not physically, certainly emotionally, intellectually.